it's me, X Canadensis. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I upload a new doll video every single day, and today's video is going to be about variants. So I'm going to be showing you 3 sets of variants and kind of explaining what a variant is, because the doll community has grown a lot recently, either old collectors coming in, new collectors entering the online sphere, or old collectors just for the first time entering the online sphere, or people collecting Playline for the first time. And a lot of misconceptions and hysteria has been stirred by collectors using terms that a lot of the community doesn't fully understand the implication of. And a big example of that recently was the variant dress Heather. But first, let's explain what a variant is. I will bring Heather over now. So a variant is either an intentional or unintentional change in the design of something partway through production. So intentional, an example would be like a blind box toy that has 2 different colorways and you're supposed to chase for the other colorway. That would be like a variant because it's the same sculpt, same character, same everything, but it just has a different colorway. Generally it's done as a chase thing, or unintentional. Usually dolls will have an unintentional one, and I don't mean that they didn't intend to change it, I just mean that it's not meant to be something that you're intended to notice. So Rainbow High actually has a lot of facial variation, but people don't really pay attention to that very much unless it's something super obvious. And people will bring it up. I have many videos on Rainbow High variants because I just love seeing the differences in the faces. But the big ones that cause the hysteria are ones like this. Heather had 2 different dresses, this super detailed one and this less detailed one. It appears, now that it's been a while and I have more information about this, that this was the original dress that they must have made in the factory, and they decided that it was too expensive, or they didn't like it, or it was too difficult to produce, something like that, so they switched to this one. And then most Heathers you're going to find are going to have this one. People are still finding this dress in stores to this day, though, but some community members really contributed to this hysteria, intentionally or unintentionally, and caused a rush for this dress to the point where people were spending like over $100 just to get this dress on a doll that was perfectly readily available in stores. I'm not sure how many of those people actually care about the dress or anything like that. Also, there's the incentive of, oh my gosh, this is going to be worth so much money, but in most cases, these unintentional variants, people don't care. Some people think it's fun and interesting. I personally really like to try to collect the variants because it's kind of like a fun fact. Like, hey, look, she had 2 different dresses. But to the extent that it would be worth a bunch more money, I don't think that is the case. Also, I think it's cool, and the reason that I mainly wanted the variant dress Heather, and one of my friends, Bon, shout out to you, found her and sold her to me for the retail cost, and I was very grateful. I wanted to see the facial variation, and there was actually quite a bit of facial variation, so I was really excited to kind of see that, because I love to see the facial variation in Rainbow High dolls. I feel like just a little change in like the eyebrow position can really change the whole situation with the doll, like make her just completely different, and I think that's super cool and fun. Historically, sometimes there's variants that are worth more money. It's just something that people think is interesting, especially in action figures. Other times, such as the case with most dolls, this is my Ghoul Sports Toralei. I think this doll was released in like 2014, but don't quote me on that. It's just in the 2010s at some point. She has this doll is a made in Indonesia doll. I know that because when I bought her, I looked at the box. There is a variant of this doll, and I ended up with this totally randomly. My dad accidentally bought her for me for Christmas when I had already bought her myself, but it ended up being cool because this is the China variant, and this is easy to tell because it says made in China. And this was a made in Indonesia doll. Because Mattel has 2 different factories that sometimes they'll produce the same dolls at, you can get some big differences in the faces. I don't know if you can tell, but to me, this is a very big facial change, especially if you can't tell what's going on. Look at the lips. This one has these like really bright fluorescent lips, and this one doesn't. They're a similar pink, but they're just a little bit different. The eye makeup is different. The size of the pupils is different. The eyebrows are completely different. Even sometimes the hair root will be different. It's very interesting. And this is just, when Monster High was out, I feel like it was just because Monster High was so popular that they needed, more factories. That's my theory anyway. I have no idea. But it's pretty cool. And my favorite of these, I do not know where mine are right now, but I will show you eventually. I have a Cerise hood from China and a Cerise hood from Ever After High from Indonesia. And the differences are so huge that it looks like a completely different character, and it's just because of the country make. So a lot of times there will be a Monster High doll that people are like, I hate mine is ugly, but everybody else's looks great. You might just have a variant that you don't like. You might have like a China variant where everybody else has an Indonesia variant. With certain dolls, one variant is way more common than the other ones. I very rarely see this China variant, which is weird because you'd think the Indonesia variant would be a lot more rare. I don't know. But I don't really know how it works, to be honest. But I think it's pretty cool. So, but the reason I wanted to bring this up, not only to be like, look, a variant, is because nobody cares about this. I don't think this is really documented anywhere. It was just mentioned in forums at the time, probably. Nobody's putting on eBay like, this is the China variant. She has a different face. $500. Nobody's doing that. Nobody cares. Truly, nobody cares. Oh, also, there can be packaging variants, and I will go get one now. So Rainbow High has two big packaging variants. So this is where the dolls might be different, but the big thing that people care about is a difference in the packaging. So if you don't know the story, Crystal Bailey, this character from Rainbow High, was actually originally going to be named Jet Dawson. They ended up reusing the name, and they ended up changing her skin tone too. So this, I actually happen to have the only one known to be in a collector's hands. This is the original Jet Dawson Crystal Bailey doll, and I know that for a number of reasons. Pretty cool. I just randomly ended up getting her from a AliExpress lot that I bought, and she has a little sample stamp. She's really cool. And she has the exact same rooting pattern and everything. I just thought I'd show that. And I have the packaging that says Jet Dawson on it. So indeed, her name was Jet Dawson. And the way to find this packaging, it's never really on the shelf like this. There's going to be a sticker over this that says Crystal Bailey. I just used some nail polish remover and scrubbed it off, and now there's no sticker. Oh, they also, not only did they put a sticker over it, they actually colored in with Sharpie and then put a sticker over it. And that's just because they changed the name so late stage that they already had a bunch of the dolls packaged, so they just slapped a sticker on it. But I think it's kind of cool. I have kind of two parts of that. The sample head and the Jet Dawson name tag. So that's a packaging variant. There can also be differences, like one packaging variant that almost nobody cares about is if it's an international or a like US main release. So US main release will have nothing, no extra languages, and the international ones will. I know some inbox collectors, especially during the Monster High time, will collect like international variants, and especially with vintage toys, people will be interested in that kind of thing, but most of the time it's not really that big of a deal. Like, most people don't really care. Another one, I don't have the other example of her, but I have this one. So this is Skylar Cheers. So this is from early 2021 as well, and her name is Skylar with an E, but they printed it with an A. So the first batch of Cheer Skylar dolls says Skylar Bradshaw. I actually had both of these variants, the Crystal Bailey Jet, I had this variant in box and this variant in box, but at some point I like just forgot. I don't know. I was just really excited and wanted to open some dolls to customize, and I opened the dolls and did not keep the boxes. So I actually had to go on eBay and scour to find these. Crystal's really hard if you're trying to find the Jet Dawson one because there's a sticker here, but you can tell if the sticker's slightly peeled. So I got both of these for retail price, which I'm happy with. And now, this is the doll that I'm making the video for. Well, all of these are really interesting, but this is kind of the reason that I wanted to do this video, because there's a new one in the mix, and it's Monster High related, and there's a lot of just disasters created by this, like, and this isn't meant to be demeaning in any way, but there's a kind of new wave of Monster High fans. Either they were fans as kids and they've come back, or they are recently into Monster High. That's totally cool. Welcome. As long as you're not weird and toxic, we welcome you here and we want you here. But again, people don't know what a variant is, so it's caused some problems. And I don't know the extent that this has gone yet, but I want to make it abundantly clear again, that Monster High historically has always had really sweeping variants, and almost nobody cares. Nobody's paying extra for variants. Occasionally people will pay more for like a Wave 1 doll that has a prettier face because it's a certain variant, but like, this isn't something to obsess over. You know, if you find a variant or if you want to seek a variant out, cool, but just know this isn't some kind of grand investment in the future, you know? Anyway. This is a G3 Claudine shirt variant. There are like makeup variants that are quite interesting. I'm gonna see today if these ones are different. They already look pretty different, but mine is out of box and wearing glasses, so but the main difference here, I love when variants have something really obvious you can spot. So this one has a moon shirt and this one has a stripy shirt. I found this one at Walmart and I got this one at Macy's, but I'm pretty sure people are finding this variant absolutely everywhere. And I looked all over the box and the only difference I could find, made in China is right here, by the way. My variant, they're both variants, but my stripe variant, people will be like, I want the variant, Heather. This is a variant too, it's just the less detailed variant. You gotta specify. Anyway, that's just, it doesn't matter. Anyway, where is my other Claudine box? This is the only difference that I found. So there's a batch code here, 1622HF2 for this one, for the moon variant. And then for this one, there isn't one, and I couldn't find it anywhere on the box, but that could just be that they happened to forget this specific box. I have no idea. If you've noticed any differences on your doll's box, oh, there's something, 2042HF2, and this one does not have that. Okay, well, if you've noticed any other differences or if you know what these mean, let me know. The batch codes generally mean like what factory it was made in and what time, if I didn't say that. With Rainbow High, it's actually really nice because it's on the bottom of their feet. Like, you can actually see it. I believe it's this foot. Let me check. Okay, it's the other foot. There. This is the batch code. Oop. I believe the top one is the item number, so all dolls will have the same one, but I'm not 100% sure. And then this is the batch code. So if you have a doll from a different batch, that will be different. I don't think it's on Monster High, but it might be on the new ones. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna get this one out of the box so we can kind of investigate and see if there's any other differences. So, these dolls are actually quite different. So I'm gonna zoom the camera in and bring them both into the same spot just so that you guys can really see the differences, because sometimes it's just like the focal length of the camera will make a doll look wildly different. So this is the moon variant. And the difference is really just this undershirt, in terms of like what we're naming the variants by. But I just noticed a huge difference between these two. And then this is the stripes variant. So they are actually pretty different. The makeup is identical. I think it's just the placement of the features on the face. I definitely prefer this one. No offense to my new one, but this one just looks a lot cuter to me. I don't know. Also, this one has like a bigger forehead. The eyebrows are different. Very interesting. This one does look like potentially fiercer, but I just like this one better. I think she's really cute. Why is your necklace turned around? There we go. By the way, I redressed this one slightly, so like the necklace and the belt being absent, don't worry about it. But the biggest difference that I'm noticing other than the shirt is that the hair length here is, this one has substantially longer hair. It could just be that I just happened to get one that had her hair cut really short in the factory. But look, if I stretch her hair out and have her head lean back versus this one, it's a little bit longer, but when it's actually styled, you can see that there's like an inch of difference here. Very interesting. It's pretty different. And then mine has some messed up hair. Unfortunately, I should have probably looked for that. See, these are usually not fixable, but I'll try. But let me recurl this. This one is, I don't know, this one's a bit messier overall, honestly, but I like her new shirt. Okay, so I think my favorite shirt is probably this one. I just think it, well, with the rest of the outfit, I think I actually prefer this doll in general, but this shirt is cuter. I like it a lot. I'll probably just restyle another Claudine down the line with this shirt. It's pretty cool. And I like this shirt though, because it was also in the Monster High movie. She wears a shirt very similar to this. But yeah, that's the only huge difference I'm seeing. Any other differences, like the way that this is fitting, could just be that this one has rubber bands on right now, or that it just so happens that whoever sewed this one did it slightly differently than whoever sewed this one, so but anyway, that's it for this video. I just wanted to share about variants because, okay, there's a lot of like doll community knowledge that you have to kind of gather through listening in on other doll collectors, or just like hope and pray that you can pick it up somewhere. And there's not really a lot of things that are published or written down for you to actually just consume. So hopefully publishing this can help at least some people. The hysteria around this doll in particular with her variant dress was so alarming to me. Because truly, how many people who bought this dress are like, yeah, this makes me happy, this satisfies me in my collection, I feel good about this purchase? Like, I don't know. And I'm not trying to dog anybody that bought the variant dress Heather on eBay for a lot of money. If it makes you happy, then do it. It's not up to me. I don't really care. But I'm just saying, like, don't let other people's hysteria around something dictate what you should and shouldn't care about or what you should and shouldn't buy. If you think that doll has a slightly different face and the shirt is different, why should I care? Then please, I implore you not. Oh, actually, this is very different. Investigate? I don't know, those are different to me. Anyway, if one doll having a slightly different hair color or a slightly different eye color or the print of the shirt being different does absolutely nothing for you, then don't let my excitement about it or anybody else's excitement about it dictate what makes you happy in your collection. It's your doll collection, it's your life. I know being in an online community for dolls is like super fun. I love it too. There's a lot of toxic weirdness. You have a lot of falling out with people. That kind of part is very stressful, but it's really cool to find a community around something that you like and get to discuss things and get information from others. For example, I would not have ever known about this. Even if I saw it in the store, I wouldn't have really noticed. Somebody else noticed, and here we are. But that kind of thing can also be a problem, right? Because suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, everybody else is buying this doll, I must need it. Or everybody else is excited about this variant, I have to be excited about it too. And you don't. Just take it easy, take it slow, enjoy the ride, buy the dolls that you actually like, buy the things that make you happy. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. For real this time. Bye!